Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hope you're doing all right and all is well. I'll give like 12:31, see if anybody else shows up, and then we'll get started. Just give them 1 minute. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hope everyone's doing great and everyone is all right. So, yeah, like I mentioned, I'll just wait till it's 12:31. So it is 12:31. So let's go ahead and get started with our meeting. Welcome to Math 245. And this is like a short 8-week course. And so when you go about doing your assignments, we're fitting 16 weeks into 8 weeks. And so you always want to make sure you're keeping a good pace as you go throughout your assignments. Before this class, I've sent you a series of emails, and they started even before the class began. And when you go into your Canvas shell, and hopefully you should be able to see Canvas. Yep. All right. So when you go into your Canvas shell, when you go to your announcements, everything that I send to the class, I will always archive in your announcements. That's the only thing and the only place that we're using Canvas. We'll use Canvas just to archive all of our emails, our class emails. Of course, anything personal will just be between me and you, but all of our class emails will be sent to our Canvas announcements and to you, your email personally. But if you ever have a question about me communicating, if you haven't seen an email from me in a while, things can get, misplaced or whatever the case may be. You can always go to your Canvas announcement and see if I have communicated to the class, up to that point. So you see where we started off. I just sent you a class start date, letting you know I'm going to be sending you emails and back in August, but our class didn't start until the 22nd. Then it was just greeting, letting you know what type of class this is. Then our math lab, all of our assignments, everything that we do, everything that we're going to be held responsible for will be generated, created, and sent to you through MathLab, where you have access to it through MathLab. And so these were just instructions on how to go about getting access to MathLab. So you're going to go ahead and go to mymathlab.com, register, use this course ID that's specific for this course. Then from there, you have one of three options. You could have purchased an outside access code, should be like 16 digits from either our bookstore or Amazon, even bought it from a friend, it's possible. And then you would type in that code that will give you access. If you decide to purchase access from the website itself at that moment, then they wouldn't give you an access code. They would just give you the access, because you're already there. And then also you can use the 14-day free pass if you're not ready to purchase at the moment. All right. And then once you follow those steps, you will have access to all of your assignments, and we'll go into MathLab, before we close out the day, make sure everybody's okay with what's going on. All right. MathLab specifics. In other words, this is the email letting you know how we're going to use MathLab specifically throughout the course. The main thing that I want to emphasize before we get into how we're going to use it is that MathLab does not work well with Safari. So if you're using Safari as your internet browser, as far as Apple products, MathLab doesn't work well with Safari. Sometimes certain things will come up, sometimes it will not. Sometimes a part of the assignment will come up. Just funky stuff happens when you use Safari and MathLab. For some reason, they don't interface well. So use Chrome. Chrome always works. Chrome always works, and you can download it free. Firefox works majority of the time as well. All right. So looking at how we will be using MathLab, notice you cannot pass the course without access to MathLab, because all of your assignments, everything that we do, and even your final exam will be done through MathLab. And that's what I said right here, all tests and everything will be done through MathLab. So you must participate weekly to show your attendance, to solidify your attendance. So I'm not saying you have to get in there every day, not even saying that you have to complete a task or complete an assignment every week, but you do need to show some type of activity in there weekly. And since this is a short course, I'm assuming you will be getting stuff done weekly because you don't have so much time, but you do want to accomplish or go into this time and show, hit save, hit something to show that you are active weekly. If you're having any issues with attendance, with MathLab, anything, make sure you let me know. Just email me, let me know. When it comes to homework, you have unlimited amount of times to get the unlimited amount of tries or attempts to get the best grade possible. That's only for homework though. And the way I will look at homework, If you score 75 to 84.9, then that's a 90% in my grade book. If you score 85 to 100, then you get full 100%. So you at least want to score 85 on your homework to get the full 100% full credit. Notice I didn't mention anything less than 75 because with unlimited amount of tries, you should be able to get at least a 75, right? Because with unlimited amount of tries, there's no such thing as unlimited amount of problems. So, if you really keep clicking on stuff, you'll get the same problem that you had previously, and you'll be able to answer the question. But of course, you don't want to play that game because you want to be able to be prepared for your test and your final exam when you eventually get to it. Your test review is not mandatory, but if you score 85 or better, I will add 5 points to that respective test. That's something that I will do the adjustments on when it comes to final grading. So there's no way I can adjust that in MATLAB for it to, well, program it such a way that if you get 85 on this, it'll bump your score up on another assignment to 5 points. So that's just something I will do manually when I do final grades. So don't look for that to just happen in MATLAB. Now, when it comes to your tests, you get two attempts to get the best grade possible. Remember, with your homework, you get under the amount of trials, but for your test, you get 2 attempts. If by some chance something crazy happened, the cat walk across the computer, hit submit or something like that, all you gotta do is let me know. I can adjust it. I can give you an extra attempt or something like that. But you get two without having to ask me. All right? And then as far as tests go, you email me a copy of your scratch work. Now, for this class, you may not have that much scratch work. That's just a general statement I use for all of my classes. But for 245, you may not, we tell you to use technology. You're going to use, whether it be an app, website, or calculator to calculate certain things. So you probably won't use scratch work. It is a general statement. But if there is some scratch work according to certain things that you do, then you will email me that. You can take a picture with your phone, scan it, whatever way, and that's fine. All right. Any questions on any of these before we go to the next thing? Everybody good? All right. So here previously recorded lectures. These are all the lectures from beginning to end from a previous class that I recorded or taught. And so, yeah, those are the same notes that I would teach you if you were in person. All right. So look at it if you like. If not, it's all good. But they are there for you if you need them. Oh, I just say this. I didn't start with chapter one, I started in chapter two, and that's only a short section because chapter one and chapter two are basically definitions. And so you're going to see what we're going to do for chapter one and chapter two assignment in a second. But that's why it starts here, chapter two. And then even that chapter two is a short lecture. It's only on a few topics because mainly chapter one and chapter two are definitions. And my office hours are right here. And if by some chance you can't make any of those, then shoot me an email and we can see what if we can match up our schedules and go from there. Make sure we can find a time to meet. All right. And then of course this was today's well, I sent it a couple days ago, but that's for today, our optional intro email or meeting. All right. So before we go into MATLAB, is everybody good? All right. So when you go into MATLAB, if you want to register, you will go here. Of course, mymathlab.com, and then you hit register. You register as a student. You're not using the LMS. LMS is like, let's say, a Blackboard Canvas. So I didn't attach it through Canvas. It was just, I know when I did it before it was clunky. So I just said, look, just go to the website. But you could go through Canvas if I connected it that way. So the answer is no. So you just go down here and they say I'm ready to register. So you would type in that course ID. It was Tucker something. And then from there, you just go continue to register and then put in all your personal information, and then it'll give you access. All right. So let's go to your shell. All right, so this is our shell. If you go here, our syllabus is right here. You want to download it. All right, and then here are your assignments. And notice it says 12/13, so everything is due by December 13th. That's our last day of class. And so notice the way it's set up. Chapter 1, Chapter 2, homework, test review, and then test. Your test review, once again, not mandatory. They're set up like your homework, so you can do an unlimited amount of tries if you want to get practice in, generate notes, whatever the case may be. You can do whatever you want to do with this. And then your test right here. Notice it says 0 or 2. So you have 2 shots. And then chapters 3, 4, test review, then test, same thing. And you see that's the pattern. And then chapter, yep. All right. And so we only have we have 4 tests. These last sections will be on the final exam, but not on. You don't have a separate test for those. All right. We'll go into that in a second. Let me see something real quick. Okay, it's not showing it. All right. So for chapters 1 and 2, here are your definitions. All right. So there are 3 pages to chapter 1 definitions. Now, if you're in Safari, if you were to go to this, it will only show you page 1. So that's what I meant by Safari, it's a little, clunky or funky with it when it comes to interfacing with MATLAB. It don't show you everything. Show you some things, not everything. And then sometimes certain pages won't come up at all. So here are your definitions for chapter 1, and then for chapter 2, you only have 1 page. All right. So we'll talk about a due date for those definitions before we close out today, but that's your first assignment. Those are your notes that you're going to generate from chapter 1 and chapter 2, and they will help you on your homework assignments, your math lab assignments here in chapter 1 and chapter 2. So that's why you don't have a bulk of notes as far as lecture is concerned, because those are your notes right there. And if you have any questions on anything, always feel free to ask me as far as the meaning of anything, as far as the definitions are concerned. Now, when it comes to these definitions, and this assignment is not made to be a hard task. As a matter of fact, and it's not a scavenger hunt. Let's go here. You see our e-text is right here. So notice I didn't mention that you have to buy a textbook. All I'm saying is that you have to buy access to MATLAB. And so in MATLAB, you have your e-text. Let me go to chapter 1. So while that's loading up, let's go back to your definitions. So you see here, the first question is, what are statistics? Next one, what is data, population, individual? So when you go to your textbook, the first thing, definition on statistics. Go to the next page. Let's get one. Okay, there we go. Then the next thing, population, individual sample. So they're all in order. It wasn't made to be a hard assignment. It's just an assignment to familiarize you guys with the terminology and to have access to something or generate something in your notes that have this terminology set up for you. With statistics, a lot of times can have its own language if you're not careful. And make sure you're pulling your definitions from this book. You're not going to Google or Siri or whatever the case may be, because some words have a definition or statistical definition that does not line up with the world's outside of statistics definitions. So make sure you're pulling your definition from the textbook. All right, so that's for chapters 1 and 2, and that's the only chapters that we're doing that for. It's just chapters 1 and 2. That we're looking at definitions for. And the way you submit them is through email, not through MATLAB. You will email them to me, and you can either do that through Word or type it up whatever kind of way, or you can write it in your notes. Either way, it does not matter how you do it, as long as you send it to me. And once again, take a picture with your phone. You can scan it, or if it's a doc, of course, you just email it to me. But whatever way is fine. Some people like to just write it by hand. That's fine. So just as long as you do it, that's all that matters. And then, like I said, email it to me at by the appointed time. So let's look at an assignment. Let's go through two. Let's see. Trying to find a good short one. Yeah, there you go. So, doesn't matter what it is. I'm just trying to show you how this works. So you type in the answer and check your answer, and then what they try to do is give you a hint in order to get it correct. Check it again, and notice now it says final check. All right, so it gives you three chances under normal circumstances. Give you three chances to get the answer correct. And of course, when I say normal, depending on the complexity of the problem, if it's just like a true false question, then of course they only give you one shot, because if you get it wrong, then you know the other answer is true or false or whatever the case may be. You know the other answer is the other one. If it's a definition one, they may give you two shots instead of three, but this is when they call for calculation, so they give you three chances. You can do help me solve this. If you hit help me solve this, that actually solves the problem for you. So most people don't click on help me solve this. Most people would click on view an example, wherein they pull up an example and show you how to do that one with different numbers. And then from there, you can go back to your problem. That's all. Yeah, when you're done with it. Then get more help depending on the complexity of the problem. That will dictate how many options you have here. Textbook, you would just go to the problem, go to the place in the textbook where they discuss this problem. StatCrunch is Pearson's version of Excel. Learn how to use that if you like. If you have any questions about it, I can do what I can to help you out with that. Sometimes they even have a video in here of a Pearson instructor talking about the problem. Tech Help is just seeking the Pearson's tech support for help, and then Ask My Instructor will send me an email with that problem. And oftentimes I get it. Every blue moon I may not, but if that's the case, just shoot me another email and let me know that you sent a problem, or you can just ask me the problem again. Either way, just know that I'm not asking you to email me so that I can not respond to your questions. So always feel free to email me. All right. So when I do final check, let's see. Should I close that out? It give me more than one. Hopefully this is the last one for this problem. Okay, so you see how I did it right here. So I got it wrong. And so you can go to the next question or hit similar question right here. Hitting similar question will reset the problem. If you didn't do it at that moment, you can hit it down here. And so they changed some of the numbers and they ask you the same question. Notice there's a red X right here. Just let me know I got it incorrect. If I go to my list of problems, red X right here. Now, if I got it correct, I would have got a green check. Notice it was two problems here, or two answers. If I got one right, the other one wrong, then I would have a green check / red X to let me know that I got part of it right. All right. Questions on anything so far? Anything, anybody? All right. Let's go back. Let's see. So we talked about due dates, and everything is due by the last day of class. So make sure that you're keeping pace. I don't have anything like set in stone as far as like dates in between there, because with the class being short, I try to leave room for life to happen, and you don't have to hit me for an extension. And you can so basically, if you get behind, you just get caught up as soon as possible. And the quicker you move, the better. Especially when we talk about chapters 1 and 2. Like I said, basically they're just definitions. So go ahead and get those knocked out while things are flowing, like with just definitions. And if things are easy to you, take advantage of those times and stay in your flow. You don't want to put yourself in a position wherein it's the end of the semester and all you have is this weekend left before the semester is over, and you can't walk away from your assignments and take a break. So never put yourself in a position in which you cannot walk away. All right. Let's see. I got those. Got showed you the syllabus. Okay. Just in case you didn't know, we do not meet regularly. So we don't really meet at all. I have my office hours when you can come through and I'll be there. But this class does not meet for a regular lecture. So that's why when I give you these previously recorded lectures, There they go right there. You can look at them at your leisure or not at all. It depends on you. You have everything that you need. You have MathLab, access to MathLab, access to the e-text. And then, like I said, even have access to my notes if you wanted to, operate and flow as the class would. But if you want to operate without a lecture, you have everything you need as well. But this class does not meet on at a regularly scheduled time. Now you guys have everything you need. And then from there, the next time I really need to see you is your final exam time. And what's going to happen is when we get closer to that time, maybe about 3 weeks out, I'm going to send you final exam options. So I'll give you like 4 or 5 days and times that you can choose from. You don't have to let me know which one you're going to choose. Just go ahead and log on during those Zoom times, and you will enable your camera, show your ID. Then I'll give you the password, and then you can take your exam, on Zoom. And so, but I'm going to give you all those instructions. And but what I am doing is making sure that you understand that you do have to make sure that you have Zoom capabilities, and that your camera works on that day, and you do want to have some form of identification that you can show to the camera. And yeah, so got 8 weeks to make sure you're cool on that. So questions, concerns, comments before we close out. Want to make sure everybody's good. Everybody had a chance to get an understanding of how class is going to be ran. Everybody good? Everybody straight? All right. So this is being recorded, so I am going to convert it to a YouTube link and then shoot it out to the class. So if there's anything that you guys want to check or revisit something I said, you will have that as a available option. Okay. So if you guys are good, don't have any questions, I believe I went through everything. If I think of something I may have missed, I'll shoot you an email, and I'll be here if you need any help. All right, you guys have a good one. Be safe, and I'll see you around. Yep, no problem. Take care.